Hello, I'm Toycat, and welcome back to another episode of my Minecraft Xbox Updated Ventures Let's Play. This is a Let's Play where I've been playing through the various updates that have come out for Minecraft on the Xbox 360, building stuff, killing stuff, and of course, destroying stuff. And in this particular episode, I'm actually going to be going back onto a bit more of a building kick, because I noticed, because someone pointed out in the comments, that, oh yeah, I have actually been, destroying stuff the past, like, 3 or 4 episodes in a row now, and, what is destroying if you don't build something to take its place? Which means, in today's episode, we're going to be building a giant boat, because I've wanted to build a giant boat for some time now, because, the base structure is kind of boring. It's just this weird, it's a square that's very slightly rectangular, and, it's this kind of boring shape. But if you look at the icon for the boat, you can see it's got a rounded front, which it's always made me curious as to why it's rounded on the icon, and it probably shouldn't be. But yeah, either way, we're going to be taking the, the square boat, we'll be building it, and then we're going to put a rounded front on it, because I figure a boat with a rounded front could look quite cool. I guess we can find out as we build it, and that's half the fun of Minecraft, right? So yeah, it's going to be a giant boat thing. But first of all, before we can do any of that, we are going to place the last block of iron into the level 4 beacon. That's right, as we place this last block, if you look around, it's the final one we need to place to make this beacon level 4, and rather than making it big a ceremony thing, let's just place it, and boom, first level 4 beacon I've made in survival. I'm pretty proud of the whole thing because, it's taken me since like last year, and admittedly it's not been like full work and stuff, but still, it's 1,500 minerals of iron in there, which is, it's a lot. So yeah, now we've got a level 4 beacon, we can put in one more iron, make it 1,501, or whatever the number is, and we can make it speed 2 now. So yeah, one of the benefits of level 4, as well as the increased range, is that you can activate regeneration or speed 2, which means, I think it just activated, you saw the field of view go out. Now you can see, I can run around at double the speed. I'm not sure it's double, I think it's an extra 20%, but still, look how fast I'm going around, and it also covers me for a lot longer. And because there's more speed 2, that means my speed will cover me for further. I guess for less time, which is a shame, but yeah, we're going to use this to run over to where we're building the giant boat, because the giant boat, the curved boat, whatever you want to call it, is actually going to be also, is there clay here that I've just never mined? Wow. But yeah, so as I say, I say that and then I don't mind anyway. But yeah, basically, I figured it's going to be a giant naval base. Because you might question, like, Toycat, why do you need a naval base in Minecraft? I'm pretty sure you're not being invaded, especially not from the sea, in your single-player Minecraft Let's Play. Well, and, although you might have a point, maybe I won't be invaded, but the opposite question you should always ask when it comes to Minecraft is not why, but it's why not. And the question of why should you not build a naval base? No good questions. So yeah, no good answers. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go to the pool I wanted to build it in. Because at first I thought this big kind of lake thing here, like it's vaguely connected to the mainland. But, I thought, that's kind of too just in my face. So instead, I'm going to use this quiet little lake over here that I found while looking at this big body of water. And I'm going to build it in here because there's something amazing about this little lake that I didn't even realize, that it's almost a perfect circle. Like, besides a few blocks sticking out, maybe this one needs to go back a little bit, you can see it's very close to being a perfect circle. And that's really, really cool if you ask me. The fact that this just randomly generated, it probably should have generated with that water, but it didn't. And then it made a perfect circle. I think that's awesome. Oh, not a near perfect circle. Obviously, perfect circles take, but you can't actually make a perfect circle, like in Minecraft, because it's blocked, but you can't make a perfect circle in general. They just do not exist. A perfect circle is a theory, just in case you don't know. Fun little fact. So, if we remove this block below there, now we can look at the boat, and we can work out what we need. Because I previously worked out, just so I could get the materials, that I need a bunch of wood, oak planks, and I need a bunch of spruce planks. I think those 2 blocks are the only one I need. I could use dark oak when that eventually comes out, but I think spruce is just as good, and maybe even better for the exact color I'm going for. So we just need to look at all of these blocks, work out how much is of each, and then just place them, I guess, which is easier said than done sometimes. So in this particular case, I can't see what's going to... Okay, so if we remove this block here, yes, we can. You can see both sides of the boat actually have a different pattern. I think we should probably remove that. And also, the back of the boat and the front of the boat. Oh, they have slightly different pattern too. So I think what we'll do is we'll take the better looking sides, which I think is this back side, and maybe this... Yeah, I think this right side. It looks like it has wheels almost, and I think that's great for a boat. So we'll take the back side and the right side, and we'll duplicate them on the front, and then we'll add, like, kind of the curve over there. So, yeah, let's do this, shall we? So, presumably this is 16 blocks wide, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's 16 blocks wide, and that means it's probably 16 blocks. Oh, it's probably, like, 18 blocks this way. So let's just go ahead and let's start this. So, since we know this is 16 blocks wide, and we know this pool is... We don't know, but we're pretending it's a perfect circle. That means the very center is here and here, because this is the furthest out point, which means this is block 8 and block 9. So if we go to block 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then we'll just place another block here for 16. Boom, we need to go out from here and make the block. So since since we want to vaguely get this in the center, let's just place a couple of blocks so we know what we're doing. Since we want to vaguely have, the boat be centered in this place, and we know it's going to be about 20 blocks wide. Actually, I think it's going to be slightly, it's like 20 blocks tall. I think it might be slightly bigger. I think that means what we need to do is go, I guess, okay, let's assume this is 31 blocks. Does that sound about right? That sounds like a number that makes sense. And we're going to be about 22 of those. That means we should go 5 blocks out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll place 2 of the spruce planks. 1, and then this is the boat right there. And now if we just remove this plank, this plank right here, that means we've now officially started the boat. As you can see right here, this is like a real part of the boat. Does it look like a boat? Actually, you could argue this is like a capsized spruce boat. I like it. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go this way 16 blocks. Well, it's probably going to be more than that. Okay, let's just go 18, actually. So I lost count already. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Easy way to check as we're punching it. So we go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then we get a feel for how right we were. I think we're very close, because if you look, we're 5 blocks away here, and then we're maybe like 9 blocks away there. And since we're going to be going out, curving out a little bit, I think this might be, it's not going to be perfectly centered, but it's going to be like somewhere not too far off, which is impressive for eyeballing it and just kind of guessing. So I'll give myself some points for that, I guess. And now we have to, again, to repeat the boat pattern. We ignore the sides for now. You can see it kind of goes along there. And if you look in the inside, it carries on, it seems. Wait, is that the exact inside? Wait, it looks like the inside is raised high. Is there like a little... Yeah, okay, that's weird. But yeah, let's just assume that... Let's just ignore the fact that this inside is super raised up and go, okay, big long lines along the center. Ignore these random... it fell down. But yeah, we should have something kind of there. So let's go back to the drawing, or not to the drawing board. I guess that was the drawing board. This is the actual board, the canvas. And let's do this some more. So while we do that, because this is just now placing a lot of blocks and making a pattern, let's talk about what I've been up to this week, which is always kind of the starting point of the Let's Play, which maybe is the worst of some, but a lot of people do quite like. And basically, what I've been up to this week is a lot of adult things. On Monday, well, last Monday, I guess, just after I recorded the video and went out for the day, I did a lot of adult things. And as someone who has now officially done a few adult things, I don't know, a lot of it's boring. A lot of it's like, oh, gotta speak to the bank, gotta just wait around while they wait to speak to me. Because, sometimes for a lot of parts of it, it's like, oh, they want to do this. Because if you don't know, I've been in the process of working out how to buy a house. And it turns out, because of the particular field I work in, it's actually going to take a little bit longer, because words and stuff. But yeah, something always funny as I go to speak to these people, because I spoke to 2 banks and I spoke to an accountant on Monday. Is there's this very bizarre thing where you speak to them and they're like, so what do you do again? That. And then they're like, okay, I think I vaguely understand that. And it's really funny because as I went into the bank and I had to explain for like the 3rd time that day, and I speak to the woman, she's like, oh, it's funny, it just says on the computer here that you play video games. It meant that, the previous person I spoke to at the bank just wrote down, oh yeah, I totally understand. So you make the videos and you do that and you do that, and it's like running your own business and services and stuff. And they're just like, oh, plays video games. And that's what they wrote down. It's like, this is just the worst. So I've slowly been learning to just say stuff that they'll just accept, because YouTube is like it's a career that didn't exist even like 5 years ago. It's a career that doesn't really even exist today. Like it's something I've vaguely turned into a little bit of a job, but I think it's something that very few people recognize or do. So I've learned to just say stuff that they'll kind of appreciate and just go, oh yeah, totally. Like I'll just say, oh, I work in advertising services, or something ridiculous like that. And it's been working surprisingly well. So maybe that's the secret. If you have a difficult to say job, then just make up something instead. Seems to be a pretty viable strategy. So yeah, that's what I did with the adulting things. And also this week, like kind of the opposite of adult things, is I decided to just take another day and just be like, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to pop in. I'm just going to head into London. So basically, I like just heading into like a big city whenever I'm like, I kind of need to recharge a little bit, because there's something about, the cool thing about cities is they just kind of have everything you want within a decent distance of each other. And it means, do I want this? Do I want this amazing food? Yeah. Do I want all the, shopping or whatever you want to do? Yeah, you want to do that too? You can do that. And yeah, that's something I've always thought is really cool about a big city, also we're going to have to be heading back to the house, is the fact that it just has everything there at one place. But yeah, so I head there, and I usually don't bring a plan with me, or like have a plan with me, because, you know, if I'm going to another country, there's some stuff I need to check out, because I'll be like, I'll miss that out. But if it's somewhere where it's like, I'm just heading, 40 minutes away, then it's just, I'll head there and I'll wing it, because most of the time, this is a pro tip for life. If you make like detailed plans about something, unless those detailed plans go exact, and even if they do, it's usually not as fun as if you just accidentally work your way into something, and that's why I decided to do what I did. And I guess I worked my way into like getting a guy was trying to sell me like one of those massage chairs for the longest time, and I was like, I'm just gonna walk away here, because a lot of people like they feel like some it is really tricky for a lot of people to get away from those people, but I've come to realize that they're trying to make it tricky, so I don't have any care for the social awkwardness, and I make it awkward enough for them that they want me to leave, and I'm like, I don't use cash, I'm sorry, I don't believe in it. I'll just say something so ridiculous that they'll want me to leave, and I don't know, it's become a fun little game. So yeah, I got a free massage out of that. Heck yeah, or like one of those like fake massage chair things. But it was quite a long time compared to what you get for the thing. So yeah, that was fun and stuff. But the reason I bring up going to a big city is because I always accidentally. Also, what are we crafting here? I don't think we're crafting anything. But one of the things I always accidentally. One of the things like I end up doing accidentally a lot, because I'm just like, I'll go in there at some point, is I'll end up going in at rush hour. So if you don't know, I'm pretty sure this is like in every major population center in the world. But basically, if you go in at like 5 p.m, everyone's just getting out of their job, and there's millions of people trying to get around on like buses, on the underground, on literally every form of transportation just clogs up for a few hours then, because it's crazy. London's like, I think there's like 8 million people that live in London, but there's also people who live outside London trying to get to their homes, which are like hours outside of London. So that means there's like literally 10 million, maybe even more people all running around at this exact same time, because pretty much everyone works and almost everyone finishes at these times. And it's very, very crazy, because there are millions of people all like just, rushing to their destination. If they make it just fast enough, maybe they'll get a seat on that train, or maybe, if they're fast enough, they won't have to wait for the third train to actually get on. And it's just always so crazy to me, like, because if you like took the, video of like people in rush hour, and then like, I don't know, you're like, these people are all rushing to get some water after a crisis, you'd believe it, like the level of insanity and the level of like urgency everyone has during this time. It's just so very bizarre, the fact, that the same amount of urgency that people will put into something, like I said, like getting food after not having eaten for days, versus, just I need to get home, right now rather than in an hour's time. It's always been very bizarre to me. And, it's bizarre that the whole thing just works. There are literally, like I said, like probably 10 million. It's probably just, 5 million. Some number of millions of people all working their way across this tiny space of ground, and it all just kind of works. And one of the things that's always surprised me when it comes to things just working. Also, I think this might be the... Yeah, wait. Something looks very off. I think it's wider than it is long, right? So, 16. Yeah, one of the things that's always shocked me about things that just kind of get done is the fact that... we're going to need to check the boat again. I'll hold the fort for a second, so as I find the side of the... Wait, the boat's... because I'm not below it anymore. So, if we just break a block down here. So, it looks like... Okay, this isn't the right side. It's this side I wanted to copy, I think. Yeah, so boat, stop. Okay, I'll just place a second boat and then remove the block beneath it, and then that'll be problem solved, right? So if we just destroy that, there we go. Okay, so you can see it kind of has a few blocks of oak, but it's mostly just spruce along the side. And then if we're going to duplicate that, then it should be easy enough to do. So yeah, we'll do that on both sides and see where we end up. So basically, wait. How far do I go with the? So okay, one more thing to check. So 3 blocks of oak, 3 blocks of thing, then like 4, and then yeah, that vaguely makes sense to me. But yeah, so it's always so bizarre to me that when big things get done, like when we sent a man onto the moon, when I don't know, getting this many people around this thing, or just doing anything in general, it's always amazed me that we actually just like the fact that people get them done. I used to think when I was younger, like, oh wow, yeah, that's just some amazing dude who knows what he's doing, and he's just he coordinates this, and it's like, wow, that dude sent a man to the moon. But it doesn't actually work like that. The way it generally seems to work is just like if someone works out who should do what jobs, and maybe they'll do it well enough, and it'll end up that, oh yeah, it all just kind of happens. And I've always found that to be a very bizarre phenomenon. The fact that getting this, getting any big project done is like a big thing, and people actually, it all eventually gets done. It's very bizarre to me, like the fact that, people don't even really know what they're doing. It's like normal people like me and you just do this tiny task, and that all adds up to doing a thing. And it's bizarre that, when you're in a big city where there are millions of people all needing to do this thing or that thing, the fact that at any time it's all available to you. The fact that, if you want to get this specific food, this specific district here, it's going to be available because, someone is making that happen. Or, lots of people are doing lots of tiny things to make that happen. And yeah, it's just very, very crazy to me, the fact that things just kind of work, and even though it hinges on, like, if just a few people mess up on one given day, it can ruin everything. We just kind of hope that they don't and move on with that, and that is absolutely mind blowing to me. The fact that we just kind of, a lot of it seems to be just like, let's just hope it doesn't all mess up today. Because for instance, like I mentioned, with the rush hour and like how the underground is crowded as like crazy, but in spite of that, all it takes is like, let's just a few people make a scheduling error, and then boom, people will be crushed or whatever, and it's gonna be like, whoa, that's like a big disaster for failure on just like a few small people. And why was I in the crafting table? It's an axe I wanted to make. I was like, what am I doing here again? So we need to go in the axe, because I think we placed a few blocks we shouldn't have. Only a few, actually. So, yeah, we're going to go and we're going to put the axe instead of our sword, because we probably don't need to attack stuff now. And let's do this. So, yeah, I've always found it bizarre that, like, a few people have all this power, and yeah, it still kind of just happens. So, yeah, that's kind of bizarre to me. And that's why big cities are crazy. I can at the train station, there's a coffee place that sells food, and most people are buying some form of food, and there's only like 2 duplicates of each type of food, but yet somehow it's all just in stock at just the right moment. And I don't know, just that all these tiny things happen, and it's kind of cool. And maybe this sounds like maybe to some of you this is like, what is Toycat even been talking about for the last while? And if that is what you've been like, then I guess we should move on to what I wanted to talk about next, which is kind of a response to last week. Because last week, I was talking about what people talk about, which I really liked as a subject, because, like, I know it's like meta conversation, but basically, I was talking about what people generally tend to talk about. Also, should we just do 5 blocks here and work out the rest later? That sounds good, doesn't it? But yeah, so I was talking, about, I guess, meta conversations, and I mentioned how people don't like to talk about the people like to talk about the big things, but people, people feel closer to you when you talk about the small things, when you talk about your favorite flavor of Jello. I think that was my example. And I guess we do 5 blocks, and then we do this again. That sounds like it just about makes sense. So let's do that, shall we? Actually, we should. Okay, but yeah, basically, I was talking about that, and something I've begun to realize is there's a lot of aspects where the small things are a lot more important than the big things. Like, for instance, I was realizing, because I was checking the news, which sounds like such an old people thing to do, like, oh, I was checking the news, but it's it's something you should probably do, keep up to date on what's happening. But yeah, I was checking the news, and I was just like, so I wonder what's been happening recently. And as it turned out, because the BBC, which is what I like to read, because every other news source seems to have like this massive bias, at least in the UK. I'm pretty sure it's true in the US too, but like a massive bias one way or the other. It's not like, tell us the facts, then give us your opinion. It's, tell us the facts, very strongly tainted by my opinion. And because that's what a lot of people just read, it's just, it's like, yeah, well, that's just the facts, Like, Obama hid all the gold in, I don't know, Mount Everest. It's just the fact. And, stuff like that, for instance. But basically, I was reading the news, again, and on the BBC News app, they actually have like a section where it's just like, oh yeah, here's stuff that's, big today, and here's the most read stuff. And I love to read what's in the most, like, what's the most read stories, because they're generally, like, I guess what people find to be the most important stories, or, the ones that people, thought were, like, most worth knowing about. It's the news that people know the most about. So, it's the same day as, like, there'd been a big announcement that, the interest rate in the UK turned negative, which is a big deal. That's like the start of what something potentially really bad happening. But on the same day, that didn't make it into the top 10 most read stories. What did make it into the top 10 read stories was there was a story about how at the G20 summit, this is where a bunch of world leaders meet. It's a cool place. At the World Summit, it turned out that a few cats from whatever country it was in made their way onto the stage, and it was like cat leaders meet at the summit. And this was like the number 1 story that day, like in front of like all the important things happened. And it makes me realize, people don't care about the big stuff. People much would rather care about the small things. And I think this is why, sites like BuzzFeed, I ranted about them a little bit in the podcast, but sites like BuzzFeed, they make stuff about like, oh, here are 20 tweets about cats, and that would be more popular. I think I watched a video on like pretty much every BuzzFeed video I watch has more views than like most videos on YouTube, because people apparently want to know about like, you know, what sushi chefs think of sushi, or like, you know, what this you know, thing here does and what that thing does there, and people like the small things. I don't know why people like the small things. I don't know why we pretend to like the big things if it's the small things that are interesting, but I think that's the pro tip right there. Like again, another example here, during a recent, like, you know, big campaign in the UK, the election, one of the big stories that stood out was the fact that you know, the Prime Minister couldn't remember what his favourite football team was. That was a bigger story than, you know, any number of politics. And it just goes to show, I mean, people don't care about big things, they care about small things. And if you want to, that's the trick for life. Small things, not big things. And I don't know, like, how you could apply that to everything, but it is bizarre that it does apply to so much. I mean, obviously, there's exceptions, but when it comes to talking, the big things tend to trump the small things. Oh, you know what? Let's give another example here. When you're like, I don't know, when you're learning stuff, you generally learn, you know, the big stuff, right? Like, you're learning, oh, well, if you're in a, let's make up a class. If you're in an English class, you'll learn, oh, well, you see, grammar is good. Yeah, that's how my English teachers sound. But yeah, you'll learn about the big stuff and how to make things work. Or no, science is a better example. Science is a big example. So you're learning in science about meiosis or mitosis, and these are cool things, right? Like, or, you know, in theory they're cool, but, you know, they're so boring. But then you hear about the tiniest thing, like, you know, the teacher was suddenly off subject, and it'll be like, oh, so, you know, in a power plant, they sent these people to die, and you're like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Or like, you know, like the tiny distractions in learning are what people like a lot, and that just makes me believe even more that big things trump small things. So I think we'll head back to the house. I really want to actually like finish the vague shape of this boat and get a look for it. So we'll extend the episode, even though we're at 20 minutes, or we've gone past 20 minutes, I should say. But, you know, let's have an extra long episode. Just long talk. Although, actually, if people like the small things, they'd like a smaller episode. No, but in all seriousness, let's just go to sleep. And let's just do a little bit more work on this boat, because I really want to believe in this curved boat thing. Because in Minecraft, the way I like to have an idea is just like, I'll think of something and be like, is that possible? I guess so. And then, you know, just kind of work it a little bit. And making, like, big versions of small things in Minecraft is a really fun thing, and it's also really satisfying, because everyone kind of appreciates what you're doing. Like, if you see over there, you see the two swords behind the anvil? Everyone's like, oh, that looks pretty cool, Toy Cat. Even though I think it's like, well, on an objective building level, I think it looks kind of weird. But because it looks like an anvil, apparently that's good enough. But yeah, so to move back into what we were talking about, I like how we say we. But basically, I was mentioning how, you know, small things trump big things, and that's very bizarre. But maybe it's the exception rather than the rule type of deal. I don't even know. It's just something I notice every now and then. I'm like, this can be used in some way. And I guess in theory then, like I said, I think I was going over this too much last week, so I'm not going to go too much into it. But that means then in theory, me talking about the small things being the big things, if that was a really big thing in life, then you wouldn't have enjoyed me talking about that, and you wouldn't have paid any attention. Which means that it's impossible. That would make it impossible to like share the knowledge, right? I mean, if people only did ever care about about small things, and this was a big thing, there would be no way to share that. Whoa, mind blown, or at least my mind's blown. So yeah, if you look at the boat shape, it's actually pretty good. So I think we'll just make a hole in the boat and finish up the wall here. It's actually, given the circumstances, I do quite like it actually. So I think over here we want to have like one of these, and then one of these, and then one of these. Now we have to work out how this top part of the boat goes. So yeah, I really do actually really like the shape of the boat. Let me know what you think, because I'm like, something about this curve is just right. I was gonna have like a point to it, then I realized, you know what? Let's just go for a nice little salt curve. And yeah, we got this great boat. So now this is gonna be the secret base. I don't know what's going to be inside here. But down here, there's going to be a tunnel. And right for now, it's just going to be this random thing here. It's going to be like link into a tunnel, which goes... Oh, jeez, I can't see anything right now. Also, I might drown if I'm not careful. But yeah, so I want it to link into a tunnel, which is only accessible from there. So that way there's like a secret base into the boat. Because otherwise, you know, there's no end now to this thing. Because obviously it's a boat. If it had a hole in it, it wouldn't be a very good boat. And yeah, let's just quickly take quick note of how we do the rest of this thing. So this is just all... Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It goes 6 blocks up, and it goes 1 block out from the whole thing. It doesn't actually go 1 block out on the back here. But yeah, it looks like it should. I'm going to take the initiative here and make it go further out. And just go 1 block out on each side and have a block out there. So it looks like it's just lots of oak with a ring. Yeah, ring of spruce, lots of oak. and just show you what's going to be done here. I think that means we just go ahead and okay, let's go underneath this thing again, just to find the entrance. Is it obvious? Okay, it is obvious. So, also, I think because I placed oak in the water, it means there's going to be a lack of thing here. So what I have to do is I have to hop in, I have to get the spruce wood, I have to find the ladders, and then boom. Because fortunately, I carry ladders on me everywhere now, and there's no good reason as to why, but it worked out now, so I guess it'll work out forever. And I guess actually we need to, let's just have some ladders up here, I guess. And now we go one block out from this whole thing and make this whole thing work. So, like, place the block here. Place the block out there, and then we have to go 4 blocks up and then get a spruce ring. So just to get an idea of how this will look, so let's just turn all of the last oak we have in us into a thing. Then it should look something like this. So I'm going to do one solid ring outside just to see if it looks okay. Because if it doesn't, obviously I can just scrap it. But I want to get a feel for if it's great or not. Because great is good. Well, actually, great is great. Good is good. But that goes without saying. So we'll just do one corner, because the thing is, if you want to test a concept, rather than building the whole thing, my favourite way to check it is just to, build one corner of the thing, so that from one angle, it looks like it's complete. So now if we do that, you can see we don't need to finish this whole thing, because if we look over from this little corner, or this big corner, you'll see, yeah, I like that. I like that quite a bit. This is the secret base. If we build it up quite a bit, then we'll end up with a boat-looking thing, but it will have the very nice benefit of on the front, having the nice little curved front. So I think we'll have a curvature to the wall around it too. That's going to be really tricky to do, but I think it should look just about okay. And yeah, that's what we're doing in... I don't want to say in the next episode, because I'll probably finish some of it before the next episode. But yeah, I'll have a secret base, and we might work on the secret tunnel, and then something else next episode. So I hope you did all enjoy this episode, and the slightly longer nature of it. Like I said, we're coming close to 27 minutes now. If you did like it, please do like it and let me know. Share it if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. Let me know what you think. Do you think small things are more important, or do you think big things are? When you're reading the news, do you care more about cats on the stage of the D20? Because I really did love that news story. Or do you care about, I don't know, whatever else happened there? Let me know. And besides this, I hope you... Words, I think I said everything. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day, and goodbye.